Siamo ad Anavissos in Grecia per provare Venom.
Today we're in Anavissos, Greece to test Venom 44, the largest RIB by RIBCO. This shipyard was founded in 1994, and since then they've built more than 700 units. They did not focus on mass production, but rather on quality. A fundamental goal for all their projects was developing excellent
È
products.
stato realizzare un prodotto di eccellenza. Oggi proveremo la versione con questi due
Today
motori.
we will test the two outboard versions of Mercury Verado V12 engines with 600 horsepower each, but there is also the setup with diesel stern drives. Two D6 440 horsepower Volvo Penta engines with DPI stern drives. This way, you have a completely free beach area. It is ideal, especially for long-term navigations, because this hull with this propulsion has incredibly low fuel consumption. Let me show you.
Incredibilmente bassi. E adesso ve lo faccio vedere. Velocità 32 nodi.
The speed is 32 knots and we're consuming 2 litres per mile. It's incredible. The maximum speed is 50 knots.
Memorizzate questi
Save this data for the upcoming test with outboard engines.
con I motori fuori bordo.
There are other variations in layout, but these do not depend on the engines, but rather on the choices made by the owner. In fact, RIBCO offers a wide range of accessories and various customizations. Actually, there is also a third version with inboard engines and surface propulsion. These are not exhausts, they are air extractors from the engine room. The design is done with the most modern tools, such as CAD and 3D modelling, but there is something else I particularly like. They have also gained experience through competitions, and all models are tested under very severe conditions.
Non basta disegnare ottime carene, bisogna provarle. Non basta costruire.
Designing great hulls is not enough, there's also the need to test them. It's not enough to build solid hulls. You have to make sure that everything mounted on board can withstand the tremendous stresses it will experience when this RIB is navigating fast, even on rough seas. Yes, because this is another important feature of RIBCO, going fast even when there are waves and always in total safety.
La larghezza è un po' inferiore a
Its
quella
beam is a little smaller compared to other models, which are not designed to face rough seas. The hull is like a blade of a knife. The dihedral angle on the transom is 21 degrees. This means that when we find some waves, it will not jump, but rather cut through them. It will not slam, but gently cross them. Speaking of important qualities, the T-top is made of carbon. There are drawstrings on the roof that are used to attach transparent sheets that allow the entire area to be closed off. It's a pure open boat because it's made for sailing and racing. The bow has the shape of an arrow, and the tubulars converge in the bow pulpit to improve aerodynamics. If you want to stay overnight, you can lift the hatch with a button and you will find a cabin for 2 people. And there's another one aft. Obviously, only on the version with outboards. There is also a toilet, complete with a sink and grating for draining shower water. To stay in roadstead overnight, there is a stern anchor. 2 are better than 1. Since there are no cabins, the deck is low, which means that the centre of gravity is not high. The tubulars skim the water like real inflatable boats for maximum safety, but also for stability.
Non avevo mai visto una tuga con delle forme così.
I had never seen a deckhouse with such shapes. This hollow deflects air outward, and these uprights shoot it toward the roof, so it doesn't enter the cockpit. They have obviously thought about relaxation as well, and in the stern, the sun deck has headrests and a central aisle that allows the mats not to be stepped on. In the cockpit, you can mount a table with 2 seats complete with can holders and handles, the latter because the seats are set up against motion. The driver and navigator seats come from competitions RIBCO participated in. I remember seeing one at Round Britain. Anatomical backrests, cushioned saddle seats and toe boards. These are the footrests for those sitting in the back. There are some beautiful fiberglass shells that have a reduced diameter so as not to take up space. For the same reason, the fridge and sink are under the seats, so there is no need for a specific cabinet.
Postazione di pilotaggio da RIB.
The pilot station is like that of a racing rib, a vertical dashboard with dual controls, digital and analog. In the centre, there's the console with the throttle levers, so that, if you want, you can share the tasks. The driver keeps 2 hands on the wheel, and the throttle man, right next to him, controls the levers. Is that okay, Gigi? This is a design prop. From here, it looks like the tank of a Harley Davidson.
Visto da qui. There are 2 Verado V12 engines of 600 horsepower each, and they also mount very long pitch propellers. Do you think we'll be going slow? I don't think so. The trim is completely lowered, the speed is 15 knots, and we're already out of planing mode. I expect great performance from this hull, which was designed by Lorne Campbell. You could know that this elderly but very experienced British designer has done so many designs, including offshore racing hulls. His boats have won as many as 11 world titles. For this hull, they chose 3 steps, set in a way to balance the hull at all speeds and also to give it the hydrodynamic boost it needs to get out of the water and make it run fast. Observe what happens at 25 knots. I have the bow completely dipped in because I don't want to fill the waves. I want to sail with maximum stability. However, if the wind picks up and becomes stronger than it is now, I can give it trim. It feels it. The hull feels it a lot. It raises the bow, and the wake doesn't start from the front anymore, but from here. This way, the splashes don't come on board. Another reason the splashes stay away is that they gave the chines a specific shape. They turned them upside down. Did you notice the confidence with which I tackled the turn without touching the wheel? And we are navigating at 30 knots. At 3,600 RPM, we're at 33 knots with a consumption of 4.5 litres per mile. The sprint is impressive. The way it exits the water and accelerates is incredible. Let's give it some more gas. Okay, let's say this could be our cruising speed. We're at 50 knots, always with low consumption, so to speak, considering the size and power of the rib. 4.5 litres per mile is excellent. This is a sign of the performance of this hull at this speed. And now, full throttle and up with the trim. We are against the wind and again the waves.
Sentite come salta dolce. Che carena morta.
Feel how smoothly it jumps. What a soft hull. It's great. Never tried a rib like this, and we're at 63, 64, 65 knots.
65. Wow!
Okay, Gigi, if you hang in there, we'll keep it at this pace, even on the rough waters for a bit, because I want to test it here as well. We're at 66, 67 knots. I'll give it very little trim. Take some off so it doesn't cavitate. 67 knots, 67.5 knots.
Wow, ma quanto
But how fast does it go? It's spectacular. It's great. Today's top speed is 67.9 knots.
Due cose mi hanno impressionato di questo RIBCO.
Two things impressed me about this RIBCO Venom 44. First, I have never achieved such a high speed with these two engines. Second, such ease of handling and control at these speeds is extraordinary.
È straordinario. E ve lo dico.
I'm telling you this as I'm veering at 50 knots on rough seas.